Republican Senator Marco Rubio from Florida decided to actually brave it and go on CNN this past weekend, where in a conversation with CNN host Dana Bash, he decided to try to lie about why he had blocked relief for victims of Hurricane Sandy many years ago. Now, of course, the reason this was relevant is because Rubio was trying to get some aid for the state of Florida, even though he and Rick Scott and other Republicans in the state have already voted down relief packages for victims of Hurricane Ian here in Florida. But Rubio insists he totally wants that to happen. And when he tried to lie to Dana Bash's face, she ended up calling him out. So take a look at Marco Rubio getting schooled by Dana Bash about what actually happened with Hurricane Sandy. Here it is.
Senator, you wrote a letter Friday to the Senate Appropriations Committee asking for disaster relief dollars for desperately needed resources to rebuild Florida communities. After Hurricane Sandy hit northeastern states in 2012, you voted no on a $50 billion relief package. I know you supported a smaller version, but why should other senators vote for relief for your state when you didn't vote for a package to help theirs?
Oh, I've always voted for hurricane and disaster relief. I've even voted for it without pay-fors. What I didn't vote for in Sandy is because they had included things like a roof for a museum in Washington, D.C., for fisheries in Alaska. It had been loaded up with a bunch of things that had nothing to do with disaster relief. And I wouldn't support disaster relief efforts. I would never put out there that we should go use a disaster relief package for Florida as a way to pay for all kinds of other things people want around the country. So I think that's the key in moments like this. And Sandy, unfortunately, they loaded it up. They really did, with a bunch of things that had nothing to do with Sandy. But I voted for every disaster relief package, especially that's clean, and I'll continue to do so. When it comes to Florida, I'll do that again, and we'll make sure that that package is clean and doesn't have stuff for other people in there.
I read the Congressional Research Service report last night. It sounds like that roof actually was damaged by the hurricane, and what happened in Alaska was the result of another disaster. But in any event...
Now, let's be clear here. Dana Bash did not go as hard as she should have against Marco Rubio, right? She's like, well, actually, the fishery thing, that was a natural disaster that they needed money for, and it was convenient just to put it in. That roof that you're complaining about, that actually was damaged by Hurricane Sandy. You're from Florida, you should understand that it's not just where the eye wall hits that gets damaged. Pretty much anywhere the storm goes, there's gonna be damage. So kind of shocked you didn't know that, Marco. You've been through plenty of hurricanes. Actually, no, you haven't been through them, but your state has. You've watched from afar. Like, that's how she should have responded. Like, you shouldn't have just calmly and professionally been like, well, okay, but you're a bit of a liar, but we're gonna forgive it. No. When you have a sitting senator lying to your face, you call them out, and you call them out hard. That's what has to happen. If the media is going to continue to treat these people with kid gloves, then of course they're going to keep doing it. That wasn't a smackdown that Dana Bash delivered to him. It was just a mild correction. But you could have been harder. Again, these are misconceptions that Marco Rubio has been carrying with him for 10 years now? And you just kind of let it happen like, oh, well, you've been lying about this for a decade, but we're going to forgive you for it. No, call him out, call him a liar, let him know that you know the truth, because unlike him, you actually read the piece of legislation. Like, that's the other part of it. You admit, you're like, well, okay, I read it, and this is what actually happened. So you could have called him out and said, so did you not read it, Senator Rubio? Because if you did, you wouldn't be holding these, misconceptions for 10 years here. So what happened? Right? Where's the disconnect? That's how you smack these individuals down. That is what Marco Rubio deserved. And all of these other Republicans that are voting down aid for their own state, they need to be called out just as harshly as what Rubio should have faced this past weekend on CNN. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.